Welcome to Market Matters. I'm Nadia Hassan together with Sulhi Azman. It is the eve of a public holiday. Tomorrow is Deepavali, but we're going to still educate you regardless. The fact is, companies in the news. Ivory Properties Bhd. Stock has been climbing about 25% since the end of August and changed today at 40.5 cents. So the reason why it moved, or at least the reason why it's in the news, is because they had this tie-up with Tropicana Corp to deal and reclaim this 10 billion ringgit worth of land in Penang. They're going to call tenders for this reclamation work, which is huge, at Penang World City by the first quarter of 2016. So I had to explain what reclamation is. Essentially, it's nothing and you just pile sand and everything and you make an island. It's going to rise up like Atlantis. And it's very controversial in general, but it's a big thing for them, right? It
will be definitely an earnings boosting for them. And Ivory Properties in 2011 signed a purchase and development agreement with the Chief Minister of Penang and Penang Development Corporation for the proposed development of mixed residential and commercial property on a 41.5 hectare site in Bayan Mutiara for 1.07 billion ringgit. And we've seen these recommendations going on. Now we have one in the Northern Island, we have one in Southern Island, the Forestry, where Benalek, and you are also familiar with that. And we also have something similar like E&O, for instance,
right?
Eastern
and Oriental has actually finally moved on their reclamation project. So I think you'll see a lot of this happening around in Penang. But actually, Ivory Properties has already had contributions from this Penang World City. They've launched their first phase of condominium units. They're looking at the second one by the end of next year. It's going to be, but the thing is, I saw their earnings. It's still fairly, it's down. I think they're having a tough time selling as well. So what will this mean? You're talking about a project that's going to be years in the making. It's not easy to reclaim an island. There's a lot of sand to go in before your thing rises out of the waves. So I think it's good for them in that sense, but that's the reason why the share price didn't move, because you see it as long-term. It's not a short-term catalyst.
There's definitely going to be boosting time. But if you look at the earnings, right, the group had unbilled sales of nearly 500 million as at July 31st, which will keep them busy for the next 3 or 5 years. Now, it also has a tender book of nearly $500 million, which is 500 million ringgit, and they own a lot of land banks as well, all in the Northern Island, in the island and on the Northern Malaysia.
Elephant in the room. Regardless of how we feel about this, how do we feel about property market in general? We have talked to death about how worried we are about oversupply. Can people afford homes? It's very different from demonstrated reality. I'm sure they'll find people for their houses. Will you be able to buy people for these houses? It's whether you depend about whether or not you believe the property market story or you're a property market bear.
Yeah, property market is going through a lot of challenges, and everyone is actually a bit softened. But Nadia, since it's a long-term project, that I think it would be quite accretive for them.
Okay, so to wrap it all up, the fact is, the reason why Ivory Properties is in the news because they have a tie-up with Tropicana Corp to reclaim about 10 billion ringgit worth of land under Penang World City. The company already is earning from World City, but it's still marginal at the moment. Unbilled sales of 490.9, so don't feel sorry for them. They still have stuff to kind of do. But again, overall property sentiment, do you believe? Non-moving share price tells me people do not believe. But moving on to our Insider Asia stock of the day, again continuing their food topic, and we all love food. Today is an old statesman, Ajinomoto Malaysia. Stock's been climbing by 10% since August, unchanged today at 6 ringgit 24. So of course we all know Ajinomoto as monosodium glutamate. Basically it's the stuff in your food that makes it taste yummy.
Well, a bit of a message to excite ourselves. Anyway, now, why does Insider Asia like to stock? Many reasons. Number one is the fact that they are very defensive. Ajinomoto has
Are we surprised?
No, it's not.
Are we surprised that Insider Asia likes something defensive, shock and horror? But yes, they do. They how much market share they have? They have something
90% MSG market share in Malaysia itself. And this is definitely something that is going to be very defensive with them and outcrowding all other brands. Anyway, Insider Asia thinks that the stock is actually underappreciated,
unloved, yeah. Because do you like so much MSG?
I think so too.
Oh God, not so much MSG. So the fact is, it's cash rich, net cash of 130 million. Then the good thing about them is it's the same story that we've seen for a lot of the guys this week. Basically, the export sales done in USD, so they are happy about that. Accounts for 35% of its sale in 2015. This is up from 31% that you saw in 2012. It definitely stands to benefit from lower commodity prices. Hence why, if you look at their earnings, wow, the 10% up on top line, 25% up on the bottom line. It's going to be great for them, and obviously Inside Asia think these guys are unloved.
Definitely. Talking about unloved, right? They have an undemanding valuation according to Inside Asia, trading at about 12 times as compared to the earnings or to the peers, trading between 24 and 29 times. But they also have better profit margins due to higher sales and lower operating expenses.
Okay, so let's be a bit of a thorn about this. The thing is, do you find that people these days are eating better?
I think so too.
Yeah, exactly. So when
Healthy.
you're actually, I mean, we're not talking for the population at large, but people do seem to eat better. So I don't doubt that they'll have a lot of MSG, but there's a reason why they sort of branched into other stuff as well. They do some food, they do some sweeteners. I don't know if health concerns are going to bring things into focus. What do you think?
I think, there's always been concern about MSGs, if you look at my father, he's been always talking about having too much MSGs in the restaurants outside there.
Does it give you a rash? I know a friend of mine gives it a rash.
No, it doesn't give me a rash.
I think some people are
It gives
a
me
bit
pleasure.
Oh, God. Okay. So basically, the fact of the matter is the cash per share of 2 ringgit 14, back to actually what's good about this company, it makes up 34% of the current share price. I mean, essentially, Insider Asia is saying, you know what? These guys are just sitting there. They're elder statesmen of the Bursa of Malaysia. They're actually one of the first companies in Japanese JV companies to make it. So yeah, it looks defensive, but the thing is it exciting?
Yeah, I think that should
Do you think it's exciting? Do you think seasoning is exciting?
I think seasonings and as much as other food counters are also very exciting.
Oh, well. Okay, at least you didn't say spice of life. I'm so grateful for that. just to bring it all home. The fact is, Insider Asia stock of the day, continuing on their food theme, is Ajinomoto Malaysia Bhd. If you want to see more of the other stocks, of course, go to theedgemarkets.com. Why is it like it? Easy. Defensive. Happy the fact that they increased their exports, so a lot of it is in USD. And then, of course, you have lower commodity prices as well. All good in general for how it actually is going to move. So yeah, like I said, undemanding valuations compared to its peers. I think that's the reason why this stock actually deserves to be loved. But that's all from us today. I'm Nadia Hassan, together with Sulhi Azman. Like I mentioned, theedgemarkets.com is always there for you if you want actually more news. Pick up a copy, of course, of the Edge Financial Daily. Happy Deepavali, everyone. Happy celebrating. Good night.